Hi everyone, this is a quick tutorial on how to set up your base in Zerg Hex Plus. I've been meaning to make some videos recently and have not found the discipline to do so, so I'm starting with a really quick one. I like to play an opener where I try and get as much gas as possible while defending against the early creeps, and I do that by building one Reaper and sending it down to this bottom gas if I'm spawned in the top left. Building this top gas first, and then my second gas, either this one or the middle one, and sending my other two SCVs, the corresponding ones, so that when I have enough gas, I can capture those as well. After I have finished each gas, I usually have another location my SCV wants to go immediately afterwards, so I'm positioning my units to clear out these geyser blockers as quickly as possible, and then capture the gas to maximize my economy. At the same time, I start the game by patrolling this battery. I have it in a triangular pattern, similar to what you'll see in regular Zerg Hex, to go between my top set of units and my bottom unit. Now, this one, the energy sometimes runs out, and so you have to be careful with your units. You know, this might be a little advanced or require a bit higher APM right out the gate, but if you're able to manage it, this is optimal. What's most important, though, is that you just try and get as many gases up as possible, as quickly as possible. Your goal is to expand and increase your economy as quickly as possible, so that you have a strong attack later on down the road. So, first focus, grab as much gas as you can. If you have extra gas and no gases to capture, then you can start building farms, fruit farms, which will give you mineral income and help set you up for later on in the game. Now I've got these two Reapers. I've finished clearing this bottom left gas, so I'm going to replace the Marine here with these bottom two Reapers, and they can start working on this guy's block. That means that I can switch my patrol for this battery to just this top side, where they're wasting less movement going across the map, and so my units are much more likely to stay fueled. I accidentally moved my Marine there. Usually I like to keep him up there until I can replace him with two more Reapers to capture that top gas. This bottom gas here on the corner, I think is kind of illegal. Some people like to play for it to capture it. I think it's a little bit greedy, and that it can be easily punished by the opponent's Hydras. So I don't worry about this when I spawn top left, this bottom right corner gas at all. And right now I'm just doing exactly what I said. I'm trying to maximize my gas, and then after I've maximized my, captured all the gas in my area, I'm filling up the rest of my base with fruit farms. Fruit farms to generate minerals and get me enough money to upgrade these geysers. They cost 80 minerals a piece to upgrade. It's pretty pricey, and the faster I upgrade them, the more gas I'm getting. It doubles your gas output for each of these guys. 2 minerals per, I think, 3 seconds instead of 1. Now, there's some other sort of planning measures when it comes to my base layout that I'm just sort of glossing over. There's a pattern you can do with these farms where you place them very tightly knit close together, except for this one. I like to do this one square up, and all the other ones in this row 1 square up. And what that allows me to do is place my power pylons in such a way that there's just a straight line across all the way to the front where I place my armor. That means that I have to build the fewest power pylons to get energy up to the front, so I don't waste as much minerals making that happen. It's also easier to avoid being sabotaged in late game scenarios. Now, for the rest of my base, right now this is just the learning mode, like the playing against AI, so I can see the whole map, I can zoom out. It's just me in this game. So I know that no more spawners are going to be built. I don't need to build more than, this set of units to hold off initial pressure. And so I'm just going to go around and start walling off different areas, making sure that if this were a real game, that I'm taking care of all possible attack angles. I should go back to regular zoom, so I'm not getting an unfair advantage. That's regular. This choke, the easiest way to wall it off is just along this dark line here. You see how there's this line? You just wall off across that line, units can't get through, and it's super straightforward. Now, it's not the most effective wall. In a real game, I'll actually go and build some gates here and fill in most of that area. But this is the quickest way to do it. Same goes for here. I like to do where this stops being straight. I just build walls across the straight part. And then on the bottom side of the map, you can do the same. You can do just where it goes from gray to black, And if you do just that wall and then go diagonally up and across, it caps out right about here. I like to put a gate here. It's not the best setup, but you can also close it off just like that. And it's hard for the Hydras to attack. They can barely touch this wall, but usually this will be defensible. Now, for our special buildings, we have the Tech Lab, the Armory, and the Construction Yard. And there's different people have different opinions on where to place these. I'm just going to show you where I place mine, and you can play around with this. You'll get, you'll ask different people in game for their opinion on this. But I have a system that works for me, and I like to just start with that. So first off, I do my armory up front, and I have a neat little trick. I line up my fruit farm like this, and then go 1 hex lower. So on that bottom right corner, down 1 hex is where I put the top right corner of my armory. So this would be up against the fruit farm. This is 1 square down. And that means that it's going to be touching the bottom fruit farm right here. This gets me, I build it one hex closer to the nest. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it just fits in there nicely and tickles my brain in a funny way. For the construction yard, most people like to wall off this diagonal area, this choke on the side near the extra gas that I don't like to take. Some people will get really aggressive with it. They'll build it out here so that it covers this extra gas so they can capture it more safely and hold on to it. But I think that's a little bit too greedy for me. I have a lot of trouble holding on to it. And so I like to build my construction yard a little bit further back, just up against this natural barrier here. You could do it even a square back. And I know some people like to build it even further back to wall off this way. But that's not for me. The way I like to do it is right up against the front here. And usually, if I'm pressured, if I'm in a rush, I'll just build a wall straight across like this. Oops. So starting at the right corner of this, all the way across, and then cap it off like this. It's very conservative. You can see my construction yard has a lot of room still of walls or gates that it can cover. But this is the fastest way you can get it up. You could also do 1 square in like this. I think it's even 1 less wall and you have a straight line. But this sets me up for later on if I wanted to add gates around the outside to defend against Toralisks. Now, the last building, there's controversy on this one. A lot of players, especially good players, and I'm going to lose these SCVs as they loop around here. That's why it's nice to have a gate somewhere around here. A lot of players like to build their tech lab up front because these Marines are wasting a lot of energy just constantly attacking. They're wasting a ton of energy, and if we had a unit like a tech lab, which automatically attacks, and as you give it more charges, it does more damage, you can see this whole radius that it covers. So if you build it up here, it would cover all the units coming through the front of your base. Most players, though, like to build it further towards this side, and actually, if you build it in range of the construction yard, right up against this gas, it's in range of the con yard, so it gets this passive aura that has reduced incoming damage and regenerates with construction yard. And actually, my con yard might be misplaced 1 square to make that happen. I'm not certain on this. I don't remember if it shows for both constructions or not. We'll find out. But this is a nice place for your construction yard, your tech lab, to help you defend early on. Now, I don't like this. See, it is in range of the construction yard, so it does get that passive bonus, meaning it's harder to snipe with Hydras or Ravitors. But if you lose it, then you lose all the charges in here, and it's very difficult to manage that. I know some players will salvage it after they've used their ion, and then put it back in their base, but I'm lazy. I don't have, the attention for that, and so I like to build it just right back here next to my generator, so I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the game. I build it right here, and turn on the energy collection so that it gets energy from my generator. Now, most of our base is looking pretty good. We have our bottom side walled off. We have our construction yard walled off. The front isn't walled off yet, and I'll show you that in a second. And then the top we have walled off as well. It looks pretty safe. I haven't talked about power pylons yet. And what I think the optimal power pylon placement is just a straight line all the way across. You saw we built that gap of farms here. And actually, we can map out the rest of the farms, how they'll go here, and see that there ends up being a really nice placement for the power pylons. Remember, I'm just leaving a gap everywhere I can. And then, at this point, I'm going straight across with this bottom row, and the gap disappears. But that's okay, because now if we line up our power pylon at maximum range, where it's still in range of the other pylon, we go 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one, you can put it in either of those places. The 4th one you put forward, up against your armory, and actually it may even be most effective to put it down here. I like to do it just on the corner because it's easiest to remember, but this, I think, is optimal placement, because then you can build another one, going all the way down to your construction yard if you need. You can still fit your farm here, and you can get power all the way up to the front of your base. Bring your battery over, and now you have 1, 2, 3, 4 power pylons built to get all the way to the front, and you don't have to worry about running your batteries back and forth. Just leave them here, and in fact, I like to keep them on hold position up against my armor. Turn on my automatic charging on my tech lab, and now I'm collecting energy. The power pylon automatically prioritizes the battery, and my energy network is set up for as long as I have energy units at the front. Now, like I said, if I need to bring energy down to my construction yard, I can build this pylon just in range. This pylon also just in range. You can even do it on the back side here, I believe. And if you want to bring it all the way down here, you can map that down. But I like to finish out the fruit farms before I do my power pylons. And you can see it's pretty straightforward. I'm just building them directly up against the previous ones, and they fit quite neatly. And I'll just shift command, build them out. One here, here. I don't have room for an extra one here because I did this diagonal wall, which I think is a little bit safer. But if you skip this wall or built it a little bit differently, you could fit one more down here. And on the top side, same deal. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have some extra room here for sheep farms or cow farms or converters or chem plants or whatever I want to build up there. You notice I built fruit farms in my base also. This is something a lot of players skip because they end up building other buildings in this place, chem labs or converters. But it's very useful to get these first few fruit farms in your base in the case that you're heavily pressured and can't expand out of your base. These are the most efficient ways of gaining minerals. Fruit farms are the best gas investment to mineral output ratio in the game. And so having these not only helps you in the case that you might get pressured, but also it increases the total number of farms that you can fit in your base. And if you need to destroy them later on to make room for more buildings, you can use the D command on your SCV to demolish them, and your space opens up and you can build there again. So very, very useful to have these. It's quite a lot of extra money to have those units. Just a small optimization. It takes very little effort. Now, you'll notice with this top one, if you do want to put your tech lab here, the fruit farm, if you built it just straight across, naturally, it would block this for 2 hexes, so I just built mine a little bit up to get out of the way. Okay, now for the front. The front you can do a lot of different ways. I'm not going to show all the different ways. I'm going to show one way, which is not the best one. This is just the way I do it, and it's definitely not the best way, especially if you spawn in the middle of the map, where you're closer to this creep. I do just 3 walls right up against the edge, and 3 walls behind it. Then on the bottom side of this, 3 walls up against the edge, 3 walls behind it, and I fill in the rest with 5 gates. It's pretty expensive, this wall. All the gates are 10 gas a piece, and it is definitely vulnerable to attacks, especially these walls that can be broken. I build defenders up front if I need them. These walls start getting attacked to heal those walls automatically. But you can see that there's better ways to build this wall, and I highly recommend that you go and play around with those different ways and find something that works well for you. Because this game is all about being comfortable with your setup so that you can get situated quickly and focus on building your economy, building your army, and starting to push the Zerg. I believe that's it. That's everything that I wanted to cover in this tutorial. There's a lot of upgrades, a lot of other pieces that I skipped over in this, but for just your initial base setup, this is one simple way to set up, which works in pretty much every spawn position. There's small adjustments for the middle, and for, of course, on the bottom left, you'd be flipped vertically. On the bottom right, you'd be flipped across the line X equals Y. But for the most part, this setup will work on just about every spawn position. That's it for this quick tutorial. I'm going to be putting out some more videos. If you guys have any suggestions on what you'd like me to cover, this is my favorite game. I play it all the time. And yeah, if you want to reach out to me, comment on this video, or email Starcraft@gmail.com. I'll put that link in the description. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you guys in game sometime.